Yo, 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 what up, YouTube? I just want to start off by saying that I'm not a psychologist, a psychotherapist, or anything close to that. I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology, but I was asleep for 80% of that degree. So, if you have a problem with anything that I say, there's no one to report me to, and we can fist fight about it. Now, let's get started. I was talking to somebody about accountability, and we got to a point where we needed to define accountability, right? So I Googled it, and it said, you know, able to be answered for. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I know what accountability is, but I needed a good definition. So I kept searching around, and I found a better definition. Required or expected to justify actions or decisions. Semicolon, responsible. Better definition. In layman's terms, having to answer to someone or yourself for your actions, right? So when we're talking about accountability, I feel like there's two paths of accountability, right? There's like the accountability people talk about when they're talking about goal setting, fitness, finances, all of that stuff. But then there's the human interaction, emotional side of accountability. Like, hey, you hurt someone's feelings, you said some foul shit, you should apologize for that, you should right your wrongs, right? So I'm going to talk about both of those as best I can without jumping around too much. So I actually wrote some stuff down, which is pretty weird for me. So first I want to talk about how these will help you, how becoming accountable will help you, right? So I'm going to lead off with that. So hopefully it makes you want to hold yourself accountable, because right now you're probably like, fuck that, why would I want to hold myself accountable? Okay, the first thing is, I think that you'll have more self-worth. What the fuck is that? I think you'll have more self-worth, and I think you'll love yourself more if you hold yourself accountable. If you never hold yourself accountable, deep down you know that you don't, and I feel like I feel like if you're just doing shitty stuff and you never hold yourself accountable, you just don't love yourself that much. Or you're just a huge narcissist. Either way, I think that's something that needs to change, right? The second thing is, I think you'll start to achieve more things, because when you work on yourself, that's an achievement. When you fix things, that's an achievement. And because you're achieving things and rewarding yourself, you'll want to achieve more things. And the third thing is, you'll improve your relationships with other people, which can only be a good thing. There's really no negatives of being a better person and other people liking you more. So let's start with the the more business side of accountability, right? Fitness, finances, all of that stuff. In business, you're always held accountable, right? If you're a salesperson, you got someone that's over top of you, like, hey, did you make this many calls today? Did you go talk to this many people? Because they're holding you accountable, like, hey, this amount of work has been shown to lead to this amount of sales. So you got to make these 80 calls today. You got to talk to these 5 people a day or whatever. And if you're doing that for yourself, it's just the same principle. Like, you need to have check-in times. You need to say, I need to have this much work and I need to get it done by this period. This is just basic like goal setting. You've heard me talk about this before, but we're talking about it in a different way, right? And I think something that can help you with that is setting micro goals. So don't take off a big bite, because you're just gonna be like, this is too much stuff, and you're gonna quit on it, just like you probably quit on a lot of stuff. So micro goals. Let's just say you want to change your eating habits. Like I said, take out a soda every day. Take out your daily bag of chips. I'm talking to myself right now. Take out your daily bag of chips. The next thing is reward yourself, right? So if you do complete that week of whatever, give yourself something. It doesn't have to be a bag of chips. It could be some other thing that you like, but reward yourself for completing that micro goal, because it's going to tell your brain, like, hey, we get rewards when we achieve this thing. So reward yourself. The next thing, ask for help. There's all kinds of people that have done the things that you're trying to do, or can just simply hold you accountable, like we're talking about. You can have a friend that checks on you and make sure that you're doing the things that you're supposed to do. People have trainers like me. You have mentors. You have just all kinds of people that you can check in with on a weekly or monthly basis and make sure that you're doing the things that you're supposed to do. And lastly, this goes with having someone to hold you accountable. You have to actually seek feedback, right? If you ask me to hold you accountable and I never hear from you and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Are you doing the things that you're supposed to do? And you're like, oh, yeah, it's good. I'm like, oh, what the fuck does that mean? You have to actually want to hear that you're not doing the shit that you need to do. You have to actually ask me, hey, how can I improve this? How can I blah, blah, blah? You have to ask questions. You got to seek that feedback, okay? And, for me, I think like I said, this side of holding yourself accountable is pretty cut and dry. You need to make mini goals, actually write that shit down, and you need to get help and ask for feedback. That's pretty much it. Now we're going to go to the emotional side of things. Okay. I am not going to directly name any mental illnesses because I don't want to piss anybody off and have to fist fight them. I got enough fist fights lined up for this month. My schedule's just full, okay? I'm not trying to beat your ass too. But mental illness, childhood trauma, when people are dealing with those things, a lot of times they're just like, well, I'm dealing with this, so you got to deal with it too, and I'm not sorry about it. Fuck that, bro. Like, no, that's not how it works, all right? I'm going to talk about some common things that people say when they're dealing with those things that just like completely abdicates them of any responsibility. They say, well, my feelings are valid. Or someone might tell them, hey, your feelings are valid. Okay, let me just say right now, that's true. Your feelings are valid. Whatever happened to you, that shit's real. It affects you. But that doesn't mean you just get to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And if you do whatever the fuck you want to do, somebody's going to hold you accountable, if not yourself. You can't get upset with the world when they say, you did this, now you have to face this consequence. Every action has a consequence, whether you like it or not, right? The next thing, this is similar. I did this because of my childhood trauma. We know that. Yes, you did do that because of your childhood trauma. But you have to take steps to change that shit. If you say, sorry, that was my childhood trauma, I appreciate that. Sorry. I really do. But if you just keep doing it, no, bro. Like, you have to fix things or you're not holding yourself accountable. You can't just say, this shit happened to me in my past, I'm always going to be like this. Nah, bro. Nah, you have to actually work on it. You have to actually start healing and start managing your emotions and your feelings, right? And the last thing is just straight up saying, I have whatever. Like I said, I'm not going to say any specific mental illnesses because somebody's going to be like, you're not dealing with this. You don't know what it's like. You're right. I don't know what it's like. I know what other things are like, though. Okay? PTSD, all kinds of stuff like that. You can't just say, I have PTSD, so deal with it. Like, nah, bro. If you have PTSD and you act out, you beat somebody's ass, you kill somebody, we're sorry that you have PTSD. That sucks. I'm sure it wasn't your fault that you have PTSD. Who the fuck wants to get PTSD? But after you kill somebody, you got to pay the price. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we need to hold ourselves accountable before we reach a stage like that, right? So I'm going to talk about some things that I think can help you on that side of things. Like I said, if you got some real problems, you need to go to therapy, okay? You need to really talk to somebody and not be watching YouTube videos. But for people that, are already doing that and they're just bored, or people that are not on that level and they're trying to make small changes, I'm going to help you. I'm going to try to anyways. The first thing I'll say is define your values in life. Because when you know what you're about and what you care about, I feel like you live a happier life. You care about your life more. If you don't care about your life, none of this shit matters, bro. You're not going to hold yourself accountable. You're not going to care who you hurt. You don't even care about yourself, bro. Like, you don't care about anything. So define your values and what you care about, so that you can start, appreciating life a little bit more and really working to stay around so that you can work on those things that you care about. Next thing, working on your limiting beliefs. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. If you just say, oh, this happened to me, I'm always going to be like this, that's a limiting belief. You don't even believe you can change. So why would you ever work on changing? You don't even believe it's possible. You know what I'm saying? So you have to actually be in the mind frame to change. You can't just say this thing happened in my childhood, I'm always going to be like this. That's not true. People can adapt to anything, for good and for bad. But you have to actually believe that you can change, first of all. You have to say, I'm going to work on this. I'm slowly, even if it's the slowest progress possible, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to start holding myself accountable. And the last thing, kind of like I was saying earlier about micro goals, just work on one thing at a time. Some people have a lot of problems, okay? That's okay. It's probably not your fault, but it is your responsibility to start working on stuff. And I just think, just like I said earlier about making micro goals, you can't try to take on everything at once, all right? Start with something small. Start with something small. Just start holding yourself accountable, okay? That's pretty much it. If you want me to dive into this topic deeper, I'll make another video about it. If you feel like I said some bullshit, call me out on it. After we fist fight, we can have a civilized conversation about it, okay? But we gotta fight first, because I don't like people calling me out. See what I'm doing right there? That's not holding myself accountable. But now, all jokes aside, if you feel like you didn't like something I said, comment, tell me. I'll reply back. I mean, don't cuss me out or something like that, or else we're probably not gonna have a conversation. But if you're just like, I don't agree with that, this is what I think, you might help me and somebody else in the comment section. I know I got some actual therapists that follow me, so maybe you're going to say something like, hey, you shouldn't say that because of this. Let me know. Drop it in the comments. We'll see how long it stays up before I delete it. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.